This is Ecclesiastes chapter 18, starting at verse 8, and it reads, What is man, and whereto serveth he? What is his good, and what is his evil? The number of a man's days at the most are 100 years, as a drop of water into the sea, and a gravel stone in comparison of the sand. So are 1,000 years to the days of eternity. Therefore is the Most High patient with them, and poureth forth his mercy upon them. He saw and perceived their end to be evil. Therefore he multiplied his compassion. The mercy of man is toward his neighbor, but the mercy of the Lord is upon all flesh. He reproveth and nurtureth and teacheth and bringeth again as a shepherd his flock. He has mercy on them that receive discipline and that diligently seek after his judgments. Want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders at Great Millstone that's teaching us this truth. And shalom to my fellow brethren that's teaching this truth in sincerity and with integrity. Back for another video. And I want to title this one, Making the Most of It, as in making the most of the time, that we have here, that we've been given. None of us know, when that clock stops. We came into the world, you know, with nothing. We couldn't choose our parents. We couldn't choose our siblings. We couldn't choose our circumstances. And the Most High had a plan for the foundation of the earth for each individual, uh, the essence of their soul, and the route that they would take in this life. And I was contemplating throughout the week, while working at my job, understanding how valuable the time is, this allotted time that we've been given, and how important it is to be in a state of humility, and not taking it for granted. I myself been a victim in my past of just being unaware of this opportunity, the time given, to receive grace and mercy and second chances. You know, when you're young and inexperienced, you live for pleasure. You don't know the value of the time that you have. Some people don't have time. Some people wish they had more time. You know, time to do things with their family. You know, freedom. Brothers are incarcerated, locked up. You know, just more time. I like that movie with Justin Timberlake. It's called In Time, and just the time was the currency. And I can watch that movie over and over again because they value time. People needed more of it to survive. It really was the currency. And moving forward, I dedicate myself to think that way. And how will I utilize my time? And I think the best way to do that is to serve the Lord and to seek out wisdom. Uh, it's the best thing that a man can do in these times in this world. Um, Make sure you have a sincere heart, you know, operate with integrity, constantly contemplating on your decision making and your thoughts, and take care of your business and keeping things simple. At least that's for me. Um, but you know, we all, like I said, we don't know the timetable that we has. We don't know when the clock stops. We sit back and think. If you sit in your domain and just kind of reflect, sip a glass of wine, and be at peace, and just think about the gift of time that you've been given. Some people have already checked out. It was the Lord's will. It always comes down to the will of the Lord. You know, can He use you to glorify Himself? Can He use you, uh, Him and His Son? You know, could they use you as a vessel to be the light in the world, to gather, to facilitate with gathering His remnant? You know, how do you utilize the time? You know, because we're all going to be held accountable for our words, accountable for our actions. You know, within that time, how have we affected our fellow brethren? So just making the most of it. You know, at this time, at this hour, you know, you didn't pay your dues, you worked as a man, and you're comfortable in your own confinements. You know, you're not a nuisance to society. You've learned from your mistakes. You know, you've capitalized on certain weaknesses you had. You know, you learn to seek out the scriptures and see what the scriptures say about the matter. You made that a norm. You try to share that with others who come in your circle, come close to you, you know, regardless of what the outcome may be, how people may receive it. You've made the attempt to operate in righteousness and try to make a positive difference. If you got a pure soul, you don't wake up thinking, how could I make somebody life worse? You know, how could I steal or take from them in any kind of way? If you got a pure soul and a conscience, you know, you want the best for people. You know, you can see outside of yourself, but that even takes work, years of work, years of introspecting. It takes years of observing the world and seeing and understanding that something is wrong here. Uh, I always, you know, when I play sports, genuinely wanted to share. I wanted to pass the ball, and I didn't mind seeing other brothers score, other brothers that were more talented. You know, I just wanted to be accepted for the role that, you know, my role and what I brought to the table. I never wanted to strive to be better or to be that that shiny one. You know, I just that wasn't my style. That wasn't in my spirit. Wasn't in my nature. And to this day, you know, as an adult, you know, I've I'm still that way. And I thank Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai for just monitoring, you know, my spirit and monitoring my moves. And we're gonna get into some scriptures now that's gonna validate that point. So let me start out with Psalms. This is Psalms chapter 90, um, starting at verse 9 in the NLT, and it reads, "We live our lives beneath your wrath, ending our years with a groan. 70 years are given to us, some even live to 80. But even the best years are filled with pain and trouble. Soon they disappear and we fly away." So in this life, you know, we got to go through our struggles. We are afflicted, especially the children of Israel. It is what it is. You know, from the fall of our forefather Adam, it was prophesied that we would have to endure. Sadly, we inflict pain on ourselves and our pain on each other without knowing. Most of us are walking this earth hurt. You know, we haven't been healed. We probably will never be healed because we make that decision to not go through the process of being healed. Uh, I can determine the person I am now versus the person I was before. And it vexed me to know that due to my lack of understanding, I made certain decisions. And at a certain point, I would say by the age of 30, I said that, I didn't want to feel that guilt and certain things anymore. So I decided to re-educate and change. Still in the process, but I can honestly look myself in the mirror and say, you've done a good job with the transition. Um, and unfortunately, all of us, many of us, haven't decided or just haven't had the spirit or that inner talk to ourselves to get on that path. Ultimately, is of the Lord. He put these things in your mind. He put these things in your spirit. He stirs you up in your solitude, and you decide to want to change certain areas of your life. Verse 11, who can comprehend the power of your anger? Your wrath is as awesome as the fear you deserve. Teach us to realize the brevity of life so that we may grow in wisdom. You know, we get that word brevity in the Google, you know, that phrase people use, life is short. And it's true. It's true. How can we be so arrogant and prideful to think that this is going to last forever? From, you know, uh, from the physical to to the spiritual to everything, we think that we are promised and guaranteed a certain condition, and this thing is going to go on forever. We see trials, calamity, death, uh, catastrophes. We see it, but never think that it could happen to us. How prideful. Never really truly understand that it is the mercy of the Lord that's given us a pass, you know, not giving us what we truly deserve based on our actions and our thoughts, you know. So which this is why I, reaffirms that I need to give my life to the Lord wholeheartedly. I've decided to do that, but as far as my works and my actions, just living for Him, you know, denying myself, delaying certain forms of gratification, you know, personal desires that I have, and really just putting it off because nothing in this world is worth it. Is just worth it anymore. Everything is fake. Everything is vanity, as King Solomon said. Reading King Solomon's writings, you understand that knowledge and wisdom really comes from faith in the Lord, fear of the Lord, and experience. Everything he's written in his word is true. Even in my 30 plus years, I can see like, no, this is not a lie. How dare that I not take heed to what is written? So, and that faith, a little bit of faith for you to keep coming back to these scriptures will give you this realization. It'll open up your mind to be able to be circumspect and watch the world as you go, step by step, glory to glory. You start to see, what you read is not a fable, it's not a lie. But those who never put their mind in the word and never pick it up and read it, exercising just a little bit of faith, you will never know. You will never know how true this thing is. Like Solomon said, there's nothing new under the sun. People lived it before us. Scribes, they wrote it down, for our benefit, but we reject it, being so far in the flesh and can't see. So this is brevity. It says concise and exact use of words. No, let me go down. It says shortness of time, the brevity of human life. You know, But 60, 70 years people living here, especially in America where the food and the air is polluted. A lot of stress. You got these vaccines, flu shots, everything that's making you weak. Uh, and the conditions of this world is so polluted, but people still have pride. Ain't that some shit? Like to not to rather poke your chest out and you know rather glorify yourself and live in vanity. You'd rather do that, but still do it in a polluted environment. That's pride. That's ignorance and pride. Not understanding that something is wrong with you and something is wrong with the world you live in. Chasing after the wind. Shortness of time, shortness, briefness of life. You know, let's go down and see if they have anything. Um, let's type on transients. What does this mean? Transients, the state of fact of lasting only for a short time. That's all we got. That's all we got. That is all we got. This is this is Ecclesiasticus 1 and 14 on down, and it reads, I have seen all the works that are done under the sun, and behold, all is vanity and vexation of spirit. Let's get this word vanity. Let's go ahead and go into it. This is Hebrews H 1891 Habel. Let me see what it said. Hebel. Hebel. Okay. Yep. Vanity, vapor, vapor, emptiness, or vanity, figuratively, something transitory, unsatisfactory, often used as an adverb, altogether vain, vanity, useless, meaningless, as Solomon said. Let's go to show all, see if they have anything else. Mm, he says, a breath, the getting of treasures by a lying tongue is figuratively, yep, unsubstantiable, worthless, vanity, as of idols. And a lot of us got idols. Ourself is an idol. We worship ourselves. Idols, man. Yep. So, um, look at that. The futility of wisdom. Let's see. Let's go to verse 15. Yeah, it's the uselessness of the works that are done under it's a vexation of the spirit because people worship this stuff, man. People value things over people. What I can get, what I can obtain out of this person. How is it going to benefit me? You know, but this is what is promised in the last days that you will have people that are going to be lovers of themselves. You see, lovers of things or versus lovers of the Most High, because the word is there, but people choose this world over the word or the Most High. And people will lie to themselves. They will lie to themselves, but when you've lived, when you dedicated yourself to being honest with yourself and being transparent with people, and you've made this lifestyle, and you took pride in that, and you've increased your integrity, you've become offensive. You become a threat to people who don't want to put in that work. It's all a vexation of spirit. Verse 15, that which is crooked cannot be made straight, and that which is wanting cannot be numbered. So people desires, man, they get overtaken by their desires. That which is crooked cannot be made straight. Mm-mm, no. And that's something to constantly give the Most High and His Son glory for keeping you, for keeping you in your right mind, for keeping you to be able to see, for awakening you to this truth, for preserving you just as He preserved the scriptures. So now here we able to get the true understanding of the scriptures through the apostles and elders, the great millstone. And that has been my path. That has been my journey. So it's only right for me to give back in these last days, just so I can get out of here, so I can make it. Right now I have what I need for salvation. You know, the water Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, verse 16. I commune with my own heart, saying, Lo, I am come to great estate, and have gotten more wisdom than all they that have been before me in Jerusalem. Yea, my heart had great experience of wisdom and knowledge, and I gave my heart to know wisdom and to know madness and folly. I perceive that this is also a vexation of spirit when you've been opened up to the truth of people, of how the world works, you know, the spiritual aspect of it. These spirits, the Lord, He give people over. These spirits jump on people, they don't be the same. They turn different. And you gotta understand that, but it was the will of the Heavenly Father because He see what we can't see. And that's a vexation of spirit, like, you know, and but He's giving you the Holy Spirit and the wisdom to be able to navigate and to discern, you know. And after you've been burned, you live again, but you can decide, you can vet, and you can make better decisions moving forward with that same makeup that you have, those same pure intentions. You live again to fight another day. But it's your job to go through the healing process though, because you gotta be honest with yourself. Even though you had a shield, you still, you know, took some punches. You know, you endured. So he says, verse 18, for in much wisdom is much grief, and he that increaseth knowledge increases sorrow. So when you go in there, when you're searching yourself, and then you being able to search the world and paying attention, and then you get these life experiences, and it's hard for you to find a lot of other people that's doing that. But when you find there's only a handful of people that's doing that, so you find yourself by yourself most of the time. It's a vexation of spirit, you know, and all you got is the Lord. He's been there the whole time. But when you learn the prophecies in the scriptures and you learn what's coming, that gives you that comfort. That comforts you to know that it's not going to always be like this. Just wait. Just wait and be patient. Everything will be set in its right place. This imbalance, uh, this imbalance of good, evil, evil, good, it's gonna be right. It's gonna be put right in this place. You just gotta be patient and keep the faith. Them that endure to the end, the same shall be saved. And we just trying to make it to the end, just you know, we just trying to make the most of it. So make the most of the time. This is this is Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 11 in the King James, and it reads, He has made everything beautiful in his time. Also, he has set the world in their heart, so that no man can find out the work that the Most High maketh from the beginning to the end. Verse 12, I know that there is no good in them, but for a man to rejoice and to do good in his life. And for whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he reap. That always sticks with me. That is always in my conscience. It's hard for me to, especially I will inflict pain on myself versus inflict pain on somebody else that I couldn't do it, because I know that for whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he reap. So I just strive to do good and live decent. The scripture says there is no one good, but the Father. But for the most part, I just try to be better than what I used to be. Try to make up for uh those thoughts that I got in my mind, with present and future opportunities. You try to do right. So sowing, limit your sowing of negativity or corruptness. Nah, I also learned that it's just life is happenstance. You can't, whatever the Lord has for you, whether you've done right or wrong, He wants you to experience it. So you may sow good over there, you may reap somewhere else. You may not reap the same where you sowed. Maybe He wants them to learn something. Maybe the Lord is using you. You say you want to be a vessel for the Lord. You say you want to be a servant, right? So you got to take what comes with it. You're a vessel that's going to be used. It may come with some pain, like He told the prophet. He told the prophet, I think it was Hosea. He told him to go marry a harlot. He, he told him to go, I want you to go see how I feel, to be betrayed, to go through this, you know, chasing my people whom I love, and they running and going to serve other gods, you know. Hey, we got to do what the Lord tell us to do. You know, it's best to be a servant of the Lord than just, lost to the world. That's how I see it. So, so it's some stuff we gotta just laugh at, through the experience, and just enjoy a glass of wine, and just trust and know that the Lord is doing something greater. And when I just think about, going to camp and think about the brothers just standing there listening to him, I'd rather be there, you know, and maybe the Lord telling you, like, this is where you need to be. This is how you refuel. This is your place. This is your space, to where the standard is higher. It's off the ground. It's not low to the dirt. This is where I want you to sup. Listen to these guys, you know, dwell here. Let's see, verse 13. And also that every man should eat and drink and enjoy the good of all his labor. It is the gift of the Most High. Last verse. I know that whatsoever the Most High doeth, it shall be forever. Nothing can be put to it, nor anything taken from it. And the Most High does it that men should fear before him. So we came in this thing with nothing. You know, when we leave, we can't take nothing with us. The only thing that we have to do, I mean, only thing that for us to enjoy is our food, shelter, the basic needs, and peace. You know, if you got peace in your life, and I was listening to a brother give a lesson, and just having peace is riches, is a form of wealth. You know, to enjoy some peace and quiet, no noise in your mind. You know, chaotic noise in your mind, getting sweet sleep, and being able to clean up in peace and look out your window over the balcony, enjoying the little things, peace, refueling in peace, and getting up and doing it all over again, going to work, paying your dues, come home, have everything in order, bills paid, just peace. We take it for granted. We take it for granted, and it's other, you know, fellow believers or other people in other countries. A lot of people doing a lot worse. A lot of people wish they can, had something to drink, a meal. People getting abused, wish they was, you know, but thank you, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, for peace, you know. And I am not even mentioning no money, no fight, nothing like nothing vain, just the simple things, you know. That's what I put on the pedestal, just the simple things. Everything else is he wanted me to have, but it's not to be glorified because it's all vanity. It's all vanity. This is Wisdom of Solomon 5, chapter 5, and we're gonna start at verse 8, and it reads, "We were so proud of ourselves, we bragged about how rich we were, and now what good has it done us? All those things are gone now. We have disappeared like a shadow, like something you hear and then forget." So we only given a certain amount of time on this earth, uh, and it's important for us to make the most of it. I had some good grandmothers, that I remember to this day. Over 20 years later, I remember those spirits, and they were in pain, and they sacrificed. You know, they sacrificed, and they were in pain, and it left an impact, on my mind. And I have that experience to where I can compare those spirits and their actions and compare it to what I'm seeing now. And, you know, and I can honestly say as the longer I've lived, the the quality of people, the longer I've lived, the quality of people has declined. The quality, the morality, it hasn't gotten better. You can't mix this with technological advancements. The quality of people have gotten worse. The standards have gotten worse. You know, the care for righteousness has declined drastically. Relationships are almost impossible to keep because of pride, because of selfishness, you know, because of hidden motives, because of personality disorders. You know, uh, we need healing. We need healing. I remember I took a grief recovery course because I was in the church, but I was tired of myself, so I was honest. and I ended up going to the course. I was like the youngest person there at the time, and everybody, it was grown folks, you know, and people was it was crying. There's a lot of emotions in there, but people they was tired. They wanted to change, but they was older than me, but it was better late than never. At a certain point, you know, that top is like a boiling pot, you know. That top was about to blow, so people reach out for help, which is a positive thing to do. But it all starts with being honest with yourself. And so I got to hear stories, people vent, you know. People talked about abuse, people talked about their dysfunctional marriages, people talked about issues with their family, couldn't get along. People were hurting behind this, you know. And they were individuals. Nobody was with them, so the people who they accumulated this pain with, they wasn't there to resolve the internal issues. They wasn't there. It was just that one person that says, "Look, I need help, and I'm going to go get help. I'm going to put my trust in this facilitator, and and I'm going to do what I need to do." And by the end of the course, there was joy. There was joy because the work was put in. You know, People were vulnerable. People were honest with themselves. They were honest with their peers. Taking responsibility for their part, and then getting the skills to, you know, learn how to better respond, and just how to forgive. Learning certain um, learning certain behaviors, and different outlets we were partaking in to suppress certain emotions and issues. We were gaining real life skills, but it takes you to be honest with yourself. This is verse 9. All those things are gone now. They have disappeared like a shadow, like something you hear and then forget. You know, all these riches, everything you brag about. The only thing worth bragging about is this word and the Most High, and Him, and you know, wanting Him to get His glory, wanting these prophecies to play out on this dysfunctional, wicked society, because the rulers of this world, they don't want nobody healed. It's all about profit. It's all about pride and power. You know, it's a spirit, and it's a spirit of wickedness. And a lot of our people got that same spirit as their oppressors. You can be proud, not considering that the fashion of this world is about to pass away, but all you care about is looks, fashion, the material things. Like, you are of your father, the devil. You simpletons. When will you come to this knowledge, this truth? When will you leave your hypocrisy? And the men of the Lord, you know, they got the spirit that want to see this place fall. And I'm right with them, because it's pure evil. This pride has to be cast down. That goes into a good ran right into this. It's one of my favorite scriptures. This is First John 2:15, and it reads, "Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him." So that's what we love, this world. And then you say you love God. Nope, nah, you have no understanding. You know, you have no understanding. Verse 16, "For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life, is not of the Father, but is of the world." That is of this place. That is of this place. Your pride, to where nobody can tell you nothing, to where you can't listen, to where you can't submit to the order that was set by the Lord. That's of this place. The lust of the flesh, you know, jumping after every impulse, can't introspect and pray for certain things, lust to be taken away, to jump every time you feel a certain way, to jump, to let your feelings and emotions dictate how you move. That's of this place. That is not of self-control, discipline. That is covetousness. That is sin, you know, and it's running rampant here. So let us not lie to ourselves and fool ourselves anymore. Let us, and when you call it out, you're the enemy. You know, when you're not afraid to stand on the scriptures, you're the enemy. You know, mass deflection get to start happening. Now you're the bad person because you understand what the scripture says and you want to try to live for the scriptures, but you're in the wrong. It's you. You've changed. It's you. But the Lord sees what we don't see. And everything that He has done, we have to accept it. We have to say we have to say it's the Lord's will for whatever happens, and then we have to endure, certain emotions that comes with the Lord's will. He says, "And the world passes away, and the lust thereof, but he that doeth the will of the Most High abideth forever." So the show don't stop here. We're making our call in an election. Sure, we're trying out for the team. We're in training camp. You know, we trying to prove ourselves that we are worthy. Many are called, but few are chosen. We're trying to stay in that calling. I'm trying to answer the phone, but yeah, I'm gonna read the next verse too, just because it says, "Little children, it is the last time." And then he was speaking, you know, he was speaking with urgency back then. So how much more urgent shall we be now? Little children, it is the last time, as you have heard that Antichrist shall come. Even now are there many Antichrists, whereby we know that is in the last time. So is the volume is turned up now. True wickedness, the children of the wicked, they really showing their colors now. And it's only about to get worse in these last few hours. It's only about to get worse, so we have to lock down those ones who believe in the truth of this word. Those brothers and those few sisters. This is it. I'm no longer convinced just by experiencing, my life experiences within the last few months, weeks. I'm fully convinced. I am fully convinced. So we it's best to dedicate your life, dedicate the rest of it, the rest of the time to the Heavenly Father and His Son, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. That's it. Anybody who is not striving, not trying to be this thing to the T, and it's not grievous, like the scripture says. Like, my commandments are not grievous. It's just order. It's order, and you gotta have a spirit to want to be in order. Any spirit of rebellion, that's a whole nother spirit. You know, it's a spirit of you want to do your own thing, and that's fine. You know, ultimately the Lord gave one over to that spirit anyway. So man's going as of the Lord. So let's see. This is James chapter 4 and 14 on down, and it reads, "Whereas ye know not what shall be on the morrow. For what is your life? It is even a vapor that appeareth for a little time and then vanisheth away. We don't have much time. For that ye ought to say, if the Lord will, we shall live and do this or do that. So we should say, if it's the Lord's will, we will go here, we will go here, we will do that, we will buy this or buy that, if it's the Lord's will, in humility, saying if the Lord allows it, if it's in his plan for me. And that's what I say with things that I may want, Lord willing, if it's the Lord's will, then he will let me experience this. He will let me have that, you know. But it's a win-win because if I don't get it on this side, we're gonna get it in the kingdom. If you wait and endure to the end, you're gonna receive 100-fold. Verse 16, but now ye rejoice in your boastings. But now, right now, in this time, you rejoice in your boastings. All such rejoicing is evil. Therefore, to him that knoweth to do good and doeth it not, to him it is sin. So knowing what is required, knowing what the Lord expect, knowing the truth, and you do it not, it is considered evil. So this is Psalms 121 and 5. I'm gonna read on down, and it reads, the Lord is thy keeper, the Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even for evermore. So the Lord has his hands on the lives of those that really belong to him, those who are seeking his word and preaching his word in sincerity and truth, those who are not operating in hypocrisy, um, secretly, your heart is somewhere else. The Lord is looking for those true worshipers who is striving for obedience, who don't get offended with his law. And you know, he's searching for he's looking at the remnant, and the remnant are gonna show themselves who they are, as times get worse. And, you know, are you willing to step up to the plate? Are you willing to make your call and election sure? Are you willing to deny the flesh, deny this world, you know, for greater things to come? Are you willing to delay the gratification? You know, or are you going to submit to your pride? You know, are you gonna stay in your low self-esteem, and try to build yourself off of other people and not get the healing you need and fake it till the game is over? It's your choice, you know. But I want to give all praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Rahakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, the teaching us this truth. And shalom to the brothers that's also teaching and doing their work, laboring in sincerity and integrity. On to the next.